guys? It's Monday.
Yep.
And it's movie time.
Yep.
Once again.
Yep.
This is one that I've actually been wanting to do for a long time because it was a movie that I saw. I don't think I saw it in the theater, but I think I saw it on cable or somebody loaned it to me or some kind of shit, like, or I rented it or something like that, like back in the 90s. And I remember being like, hey, that's pretty good. And but then I just kept thinking about maybe I should rewatch that because I kept seeing it like coming up on various streaming services. And then Tom said, oh, I own that.
Yeah.
Like he bought it like a long time ago when he was like buying a bunch of movies cheap.
Yeah. I think I got it in a package deal, I think.
Yeah, and we just never ended up watching it.
And I think it's Blu-ray.
I think
it was Blu-ray, yeah. It was cheap though.
Yeah.
Back in the day I got it was cheap.
This actually, I think I only saw it once, like back in the 90s, but this was actually much better than I remembered.
Yeah, it's much better than I remembered it.
I literally only remembered, the only things I remembered kind of part of that hot tub scene and the scene, like parts of the scene toward the end where they're chasing the alien through the like sewer/cave thing.
Yeah, I had seen this one, but I was mistaken this one. I would get confused with, I think, the second part, because there's some scenes I remember from the second part of the male alien having sex with the female alien in the water. They showed, like, they foreshadowed it in this movie, but I remember, like, a whole scene of that. That must be in 2. And I remembered a lot of, like you said, like, a lot of the scenes in it. But I remember it being kind of a low-budget movie. This is actually a pretty decent budget movie, you know. It's pretty good.
And when they did the cast on there, I was like, holy crap, I forgot this like has a really stacked
all-star
cast. Like it's really all-star.
Yeah, all-star cast. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well yeah, this was, and honestly, like even at the time, it got kind of so mixed reviews. Because some people said it's just kind of like an Alien ripoff or whatever, but you know what I mean, and it was kind of cheesy or people made dumb decisions or whatever. But it made like a lot of money. Like it made more of its money back, which is why they made. I thought there were only 2. I've only seen the first one. Okay, I thought there was Species 1 and Species 2, and that Natasha Henstridge was in the second one too. But that's not the case. There's 4 of these. She was in the first 3, and then the 4th one like had a different actress in it. Yeah. And I think that one just went to direct to DVD or whatever. I've heard, and like I said, if you might have because CB said that he liked the second one, and Phantom said he liked the second one. I've heard that the second one was hot garbage, but that the third one was good. But I don't know, because I haven't seen any of them. But this movie, because we were watching it, I was like, wow, this is like way better than I remembered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I couldn't remember. So like fucking Ben Kingsley is in this. Michael Madsen is in this.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina is in this. It's just, I was like, holy crap. Forrest Whitaker is in this. I was like, holy crap. Everybody's in this.
I think it was better than Stargate. And Stargate had Crussell in it. I think it also had Ben Kingsley in it though too, didn't it?
Wasn't Ben Kingsley?
I think he was in
Stargate.
I think maybe he was.
Maybe.
It was better than Stargate. I told Jen the story about how I first saw this movie. I was visiting the New Orleans area, Louisiana. And it was probably like 96, 97. My little cousin, Scott, he was probably about 14 at the time. And he goes, Cousin Tommy, you seen Species yet? I was like, no, I haven't seen it. Oh, no, you got to see this, man. They got this girl in here, man. She's smoking hot. You know, and he's talking about the little girl. He's 14.
Because he was only 14.
Yeah, he's like 14. Man, she is so smoking hot, man. She's cute, though. And then guess what? She grows up, she gets even hotter. They show her titties and everything. Fucking funny, man. It's just the way it was back then.
Well, 14.
Scott ended up joining the Navy and then ended up in the 101st Airborne Division as an infantryman, and then ended up he's now a defense contractor still. I remember Scott was fucking funny. Yeah. They show her titties and everything. Yeah. So really, yeah. Pre-internet. No internet porn.
Well, yeah, this is 1995.
Oh, you gotta see this. Yeah,
this was like internet was like way in its infancy.
You gotta see this. Did you like Alien? It's like Alien. You know.
And I had also forgotten that H.R. Giger did the creature design for this too.
Yeah.
Like he designed Syl.
The special effects are pretty good for the time. It's got CGI too.
The CG at the end is not good, but it's 1995.
Yeah.
So.
It kind of holds up.
Yeah.
You know, you can suspend your disbelief, you know. You know it's CG though, it's just obvious.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of classic scenes in this, man. It's good.
A lot of the creature effects were some person in a suit, and then they had like one that was like puppets and stuff like that too. Like they built puppets,
Yeah.
or animatronics. But yeah, the chase scenes toward the end, like in the cave where they're chasing Syl like through all these caves and tunnels and stuff like that, a lot of that was CG, and it didn't really hold up all that good. But because the rest of the effects are practical, they still look pretty good, I think.
All-star cast. The acting was good. It's funny to see these people so young too.
It is hilarious.
Everybody was young in it. The girl that played the alien was smoking hot. Some kind of model. She was in a bunch of stuff, including like
this was her first movie. She was a model before.
Was she foreign or was she was American?
I think she's just from here,
Okay.
but as far as I know,
Right.
But
She was in Ghosts of Mars every day.
Yeah, the John Carpenter one.
Fucking sucked.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember really not liking it.
I heard that Carpenter actually didn't direct that. That somebody directed it for him.
He's just like, here you.
Yeah, here you do it. That's what I
I'm gonna
heard.
go drink a beer.
Yeah.
But
He just had his name on.
yeah, the girl that played young Syl in this, I think in the movie she's supposed to be 12. She was actually 15. I looked
15.
it up.
Okay.
That was Michelle Williams, who actually was in a lot of shit later on. Like she
Okay.
got like a lot more work, and she got like all kind of awards, and she was in Brokeback Mountain. She was in like a bunch of stuff. So yeah, because I was like, yeah, she was super familiar also. But so the guy that directed this, Roger Donaldson, he also directed Cocktail, that Tom Cruise movie where he's a bartender.
Yeah.
Dante's Peak, that was one about the volcano, right? With what's his name that played James Bond. Also, The World's Fastest Indian. Remember that movie?
Yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah, I liked that
That was
movie
good
too.
movie.
Like he directed that one too. And the guy that wrote the screenplay for this also wrote the screenplay for Just One of the Guys, if you guys remember that one from the 80s, about the girl that goes undercover in another school, like as a boy. And The Golden Child. So same scriptwriter as The Golden Child.
Yeah, good script. I like the Golden Child.
Yeah,
Great
that movie is weird as fuck.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't think about it being weird like back in the 80s, but when I watched it again recently, I'm like, wow, this is weird as fuck.
Phantom said that Natasha's Canadian. So she
Oh,
is
okay.
foreign.
So close enough.
She's foreign, yeah.
Yeah, you don't really consider Canadian foreign,
yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, no, they get mad if you call them Americans, though.
Well, I wouldn't call them Americans. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's not really foreign. I mean,
Yeah.
they're pretty similar. But yeah, so like so this has like a super stacked cast, and I couldn't even believe. I couldn't even believe like all the stuff that I had forgotten all this stuff because I literally just remembered 2 scenes.
Yeah, it's worth seeing again. If you don't remember it or you never saw it, it's worth seeing again. What's cool is that they show technology that is commonplace now. They show it in this movie as if it's fucking big deal. Like there's a team of fucking people, scientists, trying to find it. Basically, this extraterrestrial. And it's a long story how it happened, but in their car, first of all, some of them have cell phones. That's a fucking mind blowing in those days. And then they had a laptop in a fucking car. And they were accessing the internet, which in like '96 that was fucking like secret agent shit. They were doing that.
Well, this was like a shadowy government agency you're led to
Yeah.
assume. Although they don't really tell you. Well, I guess it's supposed to be an arm of SETI, right? Because or is this like a shadowy thing that they kind of, because they said, well, what happened was
They're intelligence contractors.
Yeah, what happened was
Yeah.
like SETI had put out the thing where they were like, trying to get a message to extraterrestrials, which they did really do. But what ended up happening was that the extraterrestrials, rather than get off their lazy alien butts and like come here themselves, they're just like, we're just gonna fax you some information. We're just gonna send you some information about. I think they said one of the things was like some kind of like chemical thing that was like.
It was a chemical that gave you. Okay, look. This is how it went. The Arecibo Space Telescope, long time ago, sent this transmission, real strong transmission, out to like a fucking distant galaxy. All right, there was no intention. It was more of a fucking stunt. They never intended that thing to actually anybody ever find that or hear that message. And if they did, they probably wouldn't understand it. And then it would be millions of years before you fucking ever got a response. And they even showed what it was is it was a digital picture on fucking in a radio transmission. Well, in this movie, we got a response. All right. And it was only like a few years after. Right, I think it was a few years ago, as far as this.
I think
movie
in
goes.
the context of the movie, yeah, because they said the movie came out in 1995, and they said we got the message back in 1993.
Yeah. So okay. So whatever heard it was probably around 10, 15 light years away. That's still fucking close. All right. So they get a response, and a response is an encoded message. The first thing it does is it gives you a certain kind of, what was it? Wasn't hydrogen. It was
That's what I was trying to remember.
methane. It was methane. It was a different form of methane that if you could make it, it pretty much solve all your
Yeah, it was like
problems.
limitless energy.
Limitless energy. So they're like, okay, so thank you very much. The second one was a program for gene packets, and then the instructions of how to insert them into your DNA. Okay. So what they were doing secretly is they took some human embryos, a bunch of them, and they put that gene packet in them. And one of them they let grow. And when it grew into this beautiful girl. And she was 15, 14 looking, I guess, in months.
Yeah.
In months.
Yeah, like I think they said 3 months. She
grew that size and that
she
big.
looked well, she's supposed to be 12 in the movie, but
Yeah.
the actress was 15.
So she's growing fast. She's fucking super cute. Evidently very intelligent and real strong. But the program directors said, no, we can't do this. You're gonna have to kill that girl. So
because it looked a little sketch, like she was doing some kind of weird shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. It was sketchy because on her back she was having a nightmare and something came up out of her back. It didn't come out of the skin, but part of her skin lifted up and it went back down. They said, "No, we can't have this."
You guys, maybe this is a bad idea.
So they were gonna gas her, and while they were gassing her, she punched through the damn glass, through the plastic fucking plexiglass, or was it bulletproof glass? I guess because it shattered. It didn't break like plastic. Then she got out, and she was just a little chick, but she could pick a grown man up and throw him so hard it'd break his back and twist him around, and he'd just fall in a sack of shit of just arms and legs and a head.
Yeah,
that's how strong she was.
Hobo.
Yeah. She gets on the damn train during the escape, and she starts eating like food and trying to she could learn to speak, but I don't think she could read. And she was trying to learn how to socialize, and she was on the run at the same time. A bunch of tentacles came out of her. She was screaming, and and they went up in the fucking corner part near where the ceiling is of inside her train cabin, and it pulled her up into the top corner of the ceiling, and she transformed into a big old pussy. Basically, that was what it was.
Pussy cocoon.
They're pussy cocoon.
I said that's going to be the name of my new pumpkin.
I said, Jen, look, that's a pussy cocoon.
I was like, yeah, that's my new pumpkin.
That's what it is, yeah.
Pussy cocoon.
And just a few hours later, she birthed out of it again. And came out, she's this full-grown fucking hottie. What's her name? Natasha. Played by Natasha.
Henstridge.
She kills the woman working in a train, and she gets the fuck out of there. She's on
Takes
the
her
run
uniform.
now. Yeah,
and her credit card.
And the credit card. And she looks like a damn supermodel. All right, she looks great.
She was.
Yeah. And she's got all these desires to breed. She's trying to find a man. She goes up, I need to find a man.
Where can I find a man?
Well, that'd be easy. Just go down to the club. So what the premise of the movie is that she's trying to find a man to mate with. He's got to be right, though. And then she'd be able to have a baby. Well, they made this special government team of these scientists. Madsen was like the guy. He was an assassin. He was an assassin. It was working with him. They had some, some other sciencey type people, and then they had a psychic on there played by Forrest Whitaker, which he did a great job in that role. But that was the dumbest character.
Yeah, we were trying.
Stupid role. I wouldn't have put him in. Put that character in there.
Well, I love Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, he should have had him doing something else. He still
should have been in the movie, but I think they should have done. They never call him a psychic in the movie. They call him an empath. And we're sitting there thinking, because I hadn't seen the movie in a long time, and so his character is basically there
to give
psychically give an exposition, like she's feeling this or she went this way or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I asked Tom, I'm like, can she not talk? I said if she couldn't talk, then it would make more sense to have that character, but she can talk.
She can talk, yeah.
So it's just like I don't really understand like why they. I wish he had played like a different
he could have just been another assassin,
because that seemed a little silly.
He could have just been a fucking anthropologist or something like that.
Well, Alfred Molina's character was an anthropologist.
Okay, then you make him another assassin.
And then Marg Helgenberger was a molecular biologist.
Yeah.
And Michael Madsen was an assassin essentially. Yeah. And then he was the psychic, and then Ben Kingsley was the one running the shit.
Yeah,
like he was like the head of the operation or whatever.
The Kingsley. Everybody did great in the movie though. That's a great movie. But that's the premise. If you haven't seen it, you want to see it, fucking you can see it now. Cut us off because from here on out it's gonna be spoilers.
I mean, this movie is from 1995, so you know what I mean.
I've seen 2, but I don't remember anything about it. I want to see that one also, and I'll take a look at 3. They say 4, there was a 4. It's supposed to be like directed DVD. It's probably terrible, kind of like fucking Starship Troopers 2 or something.
Yeah.
Some of them Star Trek Troopers directed DVD were pretty bad when I saw it. Couldn't watch them.
I mean, this made a lot of money, so they're like, well, yeah, let's just make more of those.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like a bunch of people in the chat said that the second one was good, so I don't know. We'll eventually get to watching it, because I'm kind of curious to see it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I guess this might have been a decent property. I really wasn't paying attention in mid-late 90s. I was clubbing a lot. But I did see this.
Yeah.
Just didn't really stick with me. I would also get this one kind of confused with Life Force.
Life Force is way better in my opinion.
I think Life Force is a little bit better, but
it's much weirder.
Yeah, and a little lower budget, but it looked good.
Yeah,
there's something about it. It was almost
and
kind of like
Toby Hooper, man. I mean,
yeah, there's something kind of Steven Spielberg about it, almost kind of like a cheap Steven Spielberg sci-fi horror with a naked chick walking, space vampire chick.
I guess you got it confused because like they both have like naked women walking around.
Yeah.
There is a lot of nudity in this. So that's something that you're into.
Yeah.
Natasha Henstridge is like really naked in this, and I kind of feel like that's
she's
probably
not an
why...
eyesore though, is she?
Well, no, I mean that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They got her for that specific purpose. They're like, yeah, you're gonna be naked for about a quarter of this movie, so I hope you'll be okay with that. And she's just like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. If I looked like that, I'd walk around naked all the time, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
But
you can look good. You don't have to have anything on. Just a G-string. You look fucking great. Yeah.
But yeah, so her whole thing, and they, the scientists are kind of like following her, but she's pretty smart, and I guess she can learn really fast.
Yeah.
Because she's half human, like she's not...
Or more than half. They only put a few packets in her.
Yeah.
That was enough to make big differences, though.
Right. Like, yeah, she's like super strong and...
Now, there's actually a scientific precedent for this. It sounds kind of like, man, aliens wouldn't do that. Yeah, they would. There was I listen to Event Horizon a lot, which is a good show on YouTube. I'm going to plug them. All right. And they have a lot of scientists and people from all these projects coming on there as guests, and they just talk about things, including aliens. One of the things that an alien species could do, all right, in order to like spread their own kind, is to do something like this, where they send you some technology, and then they send you some kind of a bio upgrade, and you do that upgrade to yourself, and all of a sudden you become their species or more like their species, but you can live here on this planet. So every time you got this gene packet and these new abilities, whenever you mate, you're spreading those genes. Eventually you take over the planet, and the aliens have basically colonized the planet by doing that.
Yeah.
You're now them, but you're a different form of them, one that can survive in this atmosphere. And then that race lives on. That alien species lives on. They can live on. So that may be how they spread. Kind of like how the Borg in Star Trek would assimilate people to make them cyborgs. This would be like a biological version of that, is that they crossbreed with every fucking aliens they find and become part of them. Almost kind of like the way a disease or a parasite would work. But what this thing does is it gives you badass fucking abilities. You're improved. First of all, you look good as shit, according to the damn DNA that came out. Real strong, super intelligent, and you can morph into like an alien form. Looks like something H.R. Giger would draw.
Well, it is what
Yeah,
H.R. Giger would draw.
that's exactly. Looks just like the xenomorph, kind of. More human looking.
Also, while we're talking about the design of Syl in her alien form, can we please talk about those tit tentacles?
Yeah.
Because I want those.
She has some big old boobs, big areolas, and raised nipple and holes in them, and tentacles would come out and they'd kill people if they had to.
Strangle, like Michael Madsen, got fucking almost strangled by the shit.
Yeah, and
I'm like, can you imagine that being in your obituary?
Yeah.
Like being strangled by a tit tentacle.
And she's evidently kind of aquatic, because she actually does all her cool shit when she's in fluid, in some kind of liquid.
Yeah.
So maybe those aliens are actually kind of like amphibian kind of deal.
They do look kind of... I mean, you can tell that H.R. Giger designed that, like, when you see her in her, like, alien form. Because it does look very much like an H.R. Giger drawing. Mm-hmm. She's kind of, like, amphibious. Like, she's kind of, like, see-through. Like, she's green, but, like, she has this sort of translucent skin, so you can kind of see, like, all the stuff going on underneath there, like, all her organs.
When she wants to look like that.
When she wants to look like that. She doesn't always look like that. So she can, like, shape shift.
She's a shapeshifter, kind
Which I'm guessing, because like toward the end, she just looks like that all the time. So.
And it's the same kind of thing as an Alien, where there's like a sexual element to it. And an Alien, the xenomorph, was actually like an extraterrestrial space rapist. Basically, what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. It rapes you and impregnates you. This is kind of the obvious, or the opposite. It's this good-looking female that comes at you. You can't really resist her, because you don't really think that she's an alien.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't think.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. But if she doesn't, she decides she doesn't like you, she kills you.
Well, yeah, because the first dude she picks up at this club, because she's at this motel or whatever, and she asks the dude at the desk, "Where can I find a man?" And he's like, "Well, there's this nightclub right around the corner. There's probably lots of dudes there."
Yeah, there's all kinds of dudes there. And it was a very high-end nightclub.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where they wouldn't let anybody in. They're just like, they only let you in if you look good.
You have to be hot, or you have to be a rich guy to get in.
And so, like, she goes over there and picks up this one dude, and brings it back to the house, and it's like, they're about to get busy or whatever, and then I guess she sensed something.
Yeah.
And then she ends up just like killing him instead, and it turns out later that he had diabetes.
Yeah, she was getting ready to make a move on him, and she paused, and she goes, "No." And she goes, "I have to leave." She goes, "No, you're not going anywhere." Because he had a nice pad.
Then he got all fucking.
She's not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. She says, "No, I'm going to leave."
And she's like,
she says, "I thought you wanted to do this." She says, "I changed my mind." And he grabbed her, like, "Nah, you're not going anywhere." And she killed him.
Yeah. She put her tongue right through the back of his head.
Yeah, kind of like the xenomorph.
I was like, "That's what you get."
It's different. Yeah. So she's got to find like a healthy mate, and she's mostly kind of going for higher echelon guys. Although she does go for that one biology nerd,
the anthropologist,
the anthropology guy. But she
played
was
by Alfred Molina.
I think she was desperate because she was running out of time.
Here's the thing. Now, here's one of the things that's less I love Alfred Molina's character in this because he's, like I said, he's an anthropologist, and he's not like super overtly. I mean, he's kind of dorky, but he's like endearingly dorky. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of set up that he's not super successful with women or whatever. So they know. Okay, so at this point in the movie, it's like towards the end, and they think that she's dead because she's actually smart enough to kind of like fake her own death by kidnapping a completely innocent woman and then staging this big fireball car wreck and everything like that when they think that she was in it, and so they think she's dead. Now, Michael Madsen's character, whose name is Press, he's like, "I have a bad feeling. I think she's still around." And they're like, "Oh, shut up. It's fine. Let's like celebrate and drink before we go back home or whatever." And so then she's smart enough to again, because she knows that they're looking for her. So she cuts and dyes her hair, and they know what she looks like. Like, they've seen pictures of her, but the kind of shitty pictures of her.
Old 80s style security.
Yeah, I mean,
camera.
Ben Kingsley saw her, but when she was younger, so he's not entirely. So they've seen pictures of her. Forrest Whitaker saw her close up, but I don't, because remember she was there like outside the club or whatever. But I don't think the other ones got a good look at her. So she has like shorter hair and it's dark now, and she turns up in Alfred Molina's hotel room, and is basically like, "Hey, I saw you downstairs in the bar, and I just like stole a key and snuck into your room." And he's just like, "Okay." And I'm just like, you are part of a team that is looking for a female hybrid alien that wants to mate with someone.
Yeah.
And a strange woman shows up in your hotel room, and you're just down with that?
Yeah.
I mean, in his defense, he was kind of drunk. But still, I mean, you'd think you would at least hesitate. And I don't know. I just thought that was like very funny. He gets killed too, by the way.
Another cool angle about it. It had a female angle. The xenomorphs from Alien are kind of male. They're the way they do shit. I like how they made kind of like femaleness and feminine abilities, feminine qualities becomes kind of sinister in a way. She is at the club. She sees the guy that she wants, and he's talking to her, and she's actually getting somewhere with the dude, and then another good-looking woman comes and fucking just grabs him, and they knew each other. But he got, basically she cock-blocked him. She got cock-blocked by this chick. So she just backed off a little bit. She's like, okay, she waited. And that girl went into the women's room. And she followed her into the women's room and killed her.
Yeah.
And went back in there to get that guy.
She did her hand through the back wall of the bathroom stall and like pulled it. It looks like you pulled her fucking spine out or some shit like that.
Yeah,
broke her in half, whatever.
You didn't want to try to cock block her because she fucking would. She killed the female competition if they got in the way. Anybody that got in the way, they killed her. She killed her.
Yeah, she was just like a complete.
She was a machine, man.
Sociopath. Like she didn't really.
She wasn't sure why she was there. She didn't know what was going on. She just knew that she had urges and shit because she wasn't very old. She was only a couple months. They didn't tell her anything.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, I'm not saying you can't blame her, but she was just her sole goal was I need to reproduce.
Yeah.
And anybody that got in the way of that, she was just like, choop, and she just like fucking killed them. And she's just like, whatever. And like, she didn't think about it.
Yeah.
And to that end, even though Natasha Henstridge had never acted before, she was actually quite good in this.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe her being a model and stuff like that, I think that really kind of informed the role because she didn't have to like show a lot of emotion or like a wide range of anything like that. She just had to kind of be
kind of blank and seductive.
Yeah, and I think I think she did like a really good job of that because that was what the character was supposed to be like.
A lot of being pretty is genetic. Even a woman's walk is genetic. The gait is inherited. It's like a footprint. They can even use computers to do gait, or they can even ID a person out of the entire Earth's population by your gait. All right?
Yeah.
And you can't control that. It's genetic. Now, with training, you can modify it when you're in character. Like the way a male stripper walks or the way a female stripper walks is part of the act. But they're kind of consciously thinking about that. They're doing a performance. Some people just have fucking gorgeous walks. You know, they're not thinking it's accident. So that's what she's doing. Everything she's doing in the movie is natural. It's just genetic for her. And she can be gorgeous and walk gorgeous and fucking talk her way into some dude, up to some dude. And she's trying to find, in the beginning part, she's trying to find the best guy she can because she wants to have viable offspring.
Well, and the interesting thing, too, is that at first, she's not entirely sure how to go about it. But like I said, she's very observant. So, like, she's watching what other people are doing. Like, yeah, so she goes, like, she learns to drive a car just by like, watching somebody. Although she doesn't know that you have to put gas in it until, like, later on. So
she didn't know what any of the dials meant.
Right.
So when it went to E, she just was like, huh.
What happened? Why did it stop?
And then got out.
You know what I mean? Like, she didn't figure that out till later on. But because she had just watched a dude drive and then she figured it out. But the thing is, remember when she's picking up the first dude at the club, she heard another woman say to a guy, hey, I'm going to a party, like, or take me to a party or something like that. Like, I'm going to a party, you want to take me there, blah, blah, blah. So she used that same line on somebody else because she saw that it worked. So she was, like, learning, like, the whole time. So she didn't know all this shit, like, right out of the gate. She was just kind of, like, picking everything up, like, as she went. But yeah, so here's the big question about this, because, like I said, the fucking scene with Alfred Molina was, like, so funny that he didn't, like, figure out this weird... Because here's the thing. If you're, like, turn up in your hotel room and you knew that there might be an alien out there trying to get knocked up who was clearly homicidal, and this weird chick just shows up in your hotel room, I kind of feel like I don't know, maybe some dudes would just be like, oh, all right, whatever. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth or whatever, but you would think that at least you'd think about it for a second. Like, wouldn't you think it was kind of sus? I thought it would have been more believable if he had at least said, like, do I have to pay you?
Yeah.
I think they should have added that line to make it, like, a little bit more believable. Because if some chick turns up in your room, it's like, that's probably a hooker.
I had it happen to me. I told the story on the show. Already Jen knows about it. Day I roll into Korea, because I got stationed there. I was maybe 20, 21, 22. Go to a nice hotel that the Army had arranged for me. And as soon as I get in and put my bags down and get everything ready, there's a knock at the door, and I open it up, and a beautiful Korean girl walks in. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. I thought she was trying to do something in a room, like she worked there.
Like a maid.
And she's like, it's me. And I said, yeah, it's you.
Yeah, it's you.
And she's like,
go you.
And she's just keep doing the eye contact and going that, and I went, oh. I don't have the money. She goes, oh yeah, you got the money. And she came at me. I really couldn't say no. She pickpocketed me and took the money. It wasn't much though. And then that was it. Now here's the thing though, is I'm not. Some people have said that didn't happen to them in that hotel because most guys go through that hotel. Some guys, because I talked about it before, some guys said that may have been a prostitute. Might have been some girl that just saw you and liked you. And they knew the game because that was near Itaewon. Hooker Hill is where it was near.
Right. And she just figured, hey, I'm
gonna fuck that dude and get money from it.
And get money.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
maybe.
They are
because it was instant. I just put my bags down. She was already
knocking at the door.
Yeah, and I thought she worked there.
Yeah.
Because in real life, gorgeous women don't show up to your hotel room unannounced. Just fucking.
That's what I'm saying.
So I just thought she worked there.
That an intelligent dude
was like,
would immediately be suspicious.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah.
So when we saw that scene where she breaks into his room, she doesn't break. She steals keys and like gets in his room, and then he comes back, like from the bar. And she's just like, oh, I saw you downstairs and I liked you, so I stole keys and got in. You'd think most dudes would be like, wait a second. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Like, you would at least think that you were going to have to pay her, right? And most dudes would probably be like, oh, okay, I'll pay. Yeah. But you would think, I mean, that's what I would think.
If you're going to pay the price.
Right.
Girl that looked like that, that's $2,000-$3,000.
That's what I'm saying.
In today's money.
So it's like, that would be a lot of money.
Back then, that'd have been $1,000.
Because in real life... In real life, a woman that looks like that that's not going to happen.
Nope.
That's not going to happen.
Nope.
So it's like, be very, very suspicious if something like that happens. She's probably not an alien hybrid that wants to have you fill her with babies.
That's a hooker.
But it's, I mean, most likely that's a hooker. Yeah. Or she's, working with a serial killer.
Or working for an intelligence agency.
Or something.
Yeah.
Like, there's no normal woman that's gonna do that. So I just thought it was kind of funny. And then so I was thinking, like, the whole time I was watching the movie, the first two were not weird because, like, she picked up a dude at a bar, and that's, that's pretty normal. And then the second one, she got hit by a car, and then a guy came to help her, and she didn't have any ID on her, and so he went to the hospital with her to make sure she was okay, and, like, he paid her bill. I was like, shit, he must have a lot of money, because they didn't say how much. He's like, oh, put it on my credit card. They're like, dude, it's probably like $40,000, knowing how much fucking medical shit costs in this country. But yeah, so he's just like, oh, it's fine. And then they kind of hooked up later. But then she was trying to get knocked up by him in the hot tub. Yeah. And she was getting, like, real aggressive with it and kind of almost drowning him. But then they got interrupted. Because at first it looked like... I was kind of confused because she pushed him under the water because he was just like, whoa, like, chill out or whatever. Because she was getting, like, real fucking aggressive. Like, I want a baby. And I was just kind of like, okay, you need to not do that. But then it looked like she put, like, a tentacle kind of thing. Like, it looked like it was a tentacle in his mouth or something. It looked like there was eggs going in there. Yeah. I thought that's what it looked like.
Yeah, nothing was born, though.
So I thought that she had successfully... But then when she did the deed with Alfred Molina's character and actually got pregnant, they just did it the regular human way.
Yeah.
Like, and she was just, like, immediately... Like, as soon as they're finished, like, she's like, I feel it. And he's like... And he starts mansplaining, oh, you women, you think that you know as soon as you get pregnant. Yeah. And then she's like, no, feel it. And he's like, oh, shit. Yeah. And then she killed him, too. Yeah. But you know what I mean? And then runs off and gets all alien-y looking.
Yeah. Now, the thing about putting the eggs in his mouth, I think there may have been another scene about that got deleted. I bet you there's a deleted scene about that.
Because I thought maybe that wasn't what I was looking at, but that's what it looked like to me. It was hard to tell because it was underwater.
Because in Alien versus Predator, a fucking xenomorph impregnates a fucking Yauta alien from Predator. And what comes out is a Predalien. It's a xenomorph, but it's got a lot of features of the Predator. And one of the things it acquired is that, well, the Predalien ran up into a hospital room. And there was a woman in the hospital bed, and it ran up, and she's screaming, and it stuck its damn proboscis out.
Ovipositor.
Yeah, it was the xenomorph had teeth within the teeth.
Yeah.
It was like that, but a little bit different, and it went into her mouth, and you could see it putting fucking something oblong egg things in her.
Yeah.
And down in her throat. Later on, they show that woman busted open on the ground, and I don't remember if it was live births or if a bunch of eggs came out of her. I think it was live births. A bunch of stuff came out of her.
Yeah, you'd think because the eggs would hatch and then they would bust out.
Yeah.
That's how, like, a lot of insects.
And each one was a xenomorph. Yeah, but it was a bizarre looking xenomorph. I didn't see that one again.
Little baby xenomorphs.
Some people don't like Alien vs. Predator. I've seen Alien vs. Predator 2. I think that was Alien. I like 1 and 2. I like Alien.
They were both pretty good.
They're pretty good. They're fun.
I actually enjoyed them. Yeah.
Alien vs. Predator 2. It's dark in certain scenes. You can't tell what's going on. It's because the special effects weren't that good. They're trying to hide.
Turn the lights off.
Yeah, but it's okay. That's a good story. It's a good story. A lot of cool shit happens in it.
But yeah, so watching this movie kind of made me wonder. I was just like, even knowing that Natasha Henstridge was an alien that was just wanting to get pregnant and might possibly kill you, I kind of feel like most dudes would probably hit anyway. You know?
If they knew,
Yeah.
no.
You don't think?
No, because second dudes would say no to a girl she's got HIV. They're probably gonna say no to her, even though it's hard to catch HIV from a girl.
It is.
If you're a dude, the fluids are not moving in the right direction. But
that's a T-shirt for sure. The
fluid
fluid
ain't moving in the right direction. Yeah. You can, but it's kind of hard.
It is.
It's much easier the other way around.
It is. Yeah.
For a dude to give HIV to a woman.
Yeah.
But here's the good thing about this. Is that HIV isn't really a deadly disease anymore like it used to be. They got treatments for it. You can
it's not. I mean, it used to be a fucking death sentence.
Yeah. Now it's antivirals and fucking nandrolone and testosterone. That's what it does. Steroids and hormones and testosterone keeps you from losing all that weight. Because a lot of those dudes died from weight loss, really, basically starvation. They couldn't fight off any diseases. But they had gay doctors out in L.A. banging them dudes up with steroids and shit, and they were living a long, long time. And then the FDA was trying to go after them. The American Medical Association was going after them for malpractice. How could that be malpractice? It was keeping them alive. You know what I mean? The dudes are fucking 15 years later, they're still alive. So, yeah.
Well, DVD Dragon says, no hesitation, balls deep.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you knew that she was an alien, she might not kill you. Well, see, here's the thing.
You can be real sweet to her and just go fucking, I know you're an alien.
The people that she killed prior, she killed the first dude because he had diabetes and he was no good. And also he was being like super rapey and wasn't going to let her leave. So that was kind of justified. Not because of the diabetes, but because he was being a shithead. The second one, she didn't have to kill that dude, but she got like interrupted. Yeah. You know what I mean? She killed a woman too, just to stage her death, so the team would think that she had died. Yeah. But Alfred Molina, you could argue, she didn't really have to kill him because she already got pregnant. Yeah. But maybe she just thought, well, he's one of the team that's after me, so I'm just gonna.
I'd ask her because she probably would tell you the truth. This is if we after this, you gonna kill me after this? So you like a praying mantis where you eat the mate afterwards?
Just pop your head right off.
Yeah.
I'm just going to chomp that head right off.
I don't think she had to kill him.
Yeah, especially that one, I don't think she really had to. I think it was just
circumstances of the movie, what was happening. Anybody who was an obstacle or in the way or could cause her trouble, she killed him.
It was just easier.
It was self-preservation.
Yeah.
But I think, for instance, remember the dude that took her to the apartment? And fucking then she turned him down because he had the diabetes? Yeah. If he didn't have the diabetes, she might have just screwed him and left.
Right.
I mean, I don't think...
Well, I think she ended up killing him at first, like I said, because he...
started trying to rape her.
Because she said when she smelled the diabetes or whatever it was and he wasn't suitable, she was just like, oh, drive me back.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
Yeah.
And then he grabbed her and was like, oh no. So it's like, that's what I mean when I said that was justified, because then he started getting like aggressive. And so she kind of killed him just to get him out. But the other ones, like the guy that paid for her medical care and all of that kind of stuff, he seemed like a nice dude. Yeah. And she just kind of got super aggressive, and then he was like, whoa, like, chill the fuck out. Yeah. And then she started saying, like, I want a baby. And he was like, hey, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Which any normal dude would be. It's like, let's sit down and think about this for a second.
It's just so funny. If it's a gorgeous blonde white chick, those dudes will fucking jump out of their cars. He hits in a Porsche and everything to pay her medical bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Think if that was some ugly chick, she'd be like, oh, fuck that chick.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah, but hey, we talked about it.
True,
that's the
though.
reality of the world.
It is, but it's sad.
It is the reality of the world.
Yeah, if it hadn't been like a hot blonde.
Yeah.
Like if it had been like an old lady or like a little fat girl or something.
All this
like
concept
that.
of equality, you can throw that out the fucking window. Some people are fucking more pull and more value to society than others, and it's based on looks. Ain't that some shit? Gorgeous women, doesn't matter what color they are either, But I'm just saying, gorgeous women, their life's kind of on easy mode, even though they don't know it because they have other problems.
Well,
guys. Their problem is there's too many dudes, and most of them are not.
And a lot of them are.
Yeah, most of them they're not interested. And that's their problem.
Creepy, and they won't leave.
Right. But they can get dudes to do all kinds of shit. They got women that are so beautiful and didn't have to work a day in their life. Just got a billionaire boyfriend. Yep.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Must be real.
Well, like I said, they have their own problems.
They have their own problems. Yeah.
Everybody's got their own problems. You never know. Yeah. Because you can't ever look at somebody else and just like, oh, they look like this, that, and the other thing. Their life must be so easy. Not necessarily. Like, sometimes they have fucked up shit happen to you. Because
a woman that looks like this, her main problem is that there's too many dudes and not enough single available guys that are good enough for her. Because they're already hooked up. You know what I mean? She's going for the top 5% of the men.
That's not really a problem. Vibrators exist.
Yeah, but if you're trying to get married, though, and if you're trying to fucking have children, then your problem is that there's not there's not enough available men for you.
Also, sperm banks exist.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But then you end up with those two dudes that fucking are colonizing.
Yeah, but you still have a baby if that was
right
all
now with all that white semen.
I mean,
what was the name of those dudes?
Yeah,
they're sperm donors, and they're saying they're taking.
I can't
over
remember their names, but yeah. There's a documentary on Netflix.
They have thousands of children.
Called The Man with 1,000 Children or something
thousands
like that.
of children.
It's more than one dude, but the documentary is mostly about one guy.
Yeah, two psycho white dudes.
Yeah.
They're fucking psychos.
He was like Dutch or Danish or I can't remember. He was Norway or somewhere.
The one from Norway looked like that dude from Prometheus, the big bald guy. He looked just like that. Yeah.
That was a crazy.
They got banned.
I just picked that fucking documentary at random one night because I was bored. Yeah. And I was just like, that was the craziest shit ever.
They got so many children in Europe that they fucking ganged up on them. The court said you cannot donate sperm in here
Yeah, it's like,
anymore.
stop it. Holy crap. He had like all these kids like in this one town. It's like, oh my god, everybody's gonna be inbred. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, so there was a fertility clinic in one of the African countries. Fucking invited them all over and pay their fucking flight, put them up in rooms, and all they had to do is just jerk it in these little fucking bottles, and they were making all kinds of money.
Like once a day for like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah,
like
and here's the thing: those motherfuckers are they're gonna colonize Africa. You know what I mean? And Africa's gonna give birth to all these light-skinned people who are all related to one another. There's going to be bad inbreeding there.
Well, yeah, that's why most countries have that limitation, like fertility clinics, like we said before. They're like, okay, if you donate sperm, like we can only give this out to somebody, and they track like who they give it to, so that doesn't happen.
It's all going to be half brothers.
They're trying to prevent exactly this situation from occurring.
There's all going to be these light-skinned half brothers and half sisters, all fucking trying to fuck each other. What country was that? It wasn't Nigeria. Might have been Nigeria.
I don't remember. Phantom asked if we own Species 2 as well.
No, I don't have it.
We don't, but I'm sure we could probably find it on streaming somewhere. We might do it.
I'd review it.
Yeah, we might do it for next week, or we'll see how it goes. But let's see. Phantom also says, like and subscribe and give a thumbs up just for how hot Natasha Henstridge was in this film.
Yes, indeed.
She was very hot. It's not super my type, but yeah, she's like super hot, like I said.
Jen likes little nerdy girls.
I do, yeah.
Little glasses, ones that read a lot. Playing games.
You say it like so dismissively.
No, I just think it's funny.
Like, why is that funny? Everyone's got their thing.
No, I understand it.
Everyone's got their thing.
I understand it because you want somebody to hang out with.
Well, and like I said, I don't know if I necessarily have a type. I just kind of like it's just
depends on what's up.
Yeah, I just kind of take them as they go. Yeah. It just normally somebody that looked like Natasha Henstridge, I just feel like I wouldn't have much in common with that person. That's all I'm saying.
I think Maria's fucking single.
Oh, when did that happen?
That dude showed up without her twice.
Really? I didn't notice.
Yeah.
When? At Barbarella?
At the old Barbarella's.
Oh, the old Barbarella.
Yeah, she wasn't with him.
Oh, I didn't notice. Uh-oh. Well.
So she might be out there.
She might be out there.
Yeah. She told me, I am very low income. I said, you're very low income? She's fucking hilarious.
She's super cute.
Yeah. I am very low income.
Yeah. I didn't notice that, dude. I don't even really remember what he looks like, to be honest with you.
Tall, skinny guy. He actually dressed real well.
Yeah, I kind of remember that, but like I said, I can't really picture his face because
Yeah.
I didn't really look at him that close.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, are we done talking about it?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, Species. If you haven't seen it in a while, this is actually a pretty fun movie. Like I said, it was kind of got mixed reviews at the time, but I feel like it's kind of got a bigger cult following as of now. And it's generally considered one of the better sci-fi movies in the 90s. And like I said, it was much better than I remembered. Because the first time I saw it, I was like, that's pretty good. But it didn't really stick with me all that much. But when we watched it again, I was like, wow, this is pretty good. It's like action-packed. It's like it had really good special
Phantom
effects.
says 2 is the best one in the series.
Okay, now I'm kind of interested.
Yeah.
Because like I said, every other thing that I saw, like they were like, oh, 2 was so bad. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
That's like they say RoboCop 2 was bad.
I've never seen
I
it.
liked RoboCop 2. I thought it was cool. Same director as Empire Strikes Back, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it kept a similar tone.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
All right. So I guess we're going to wrap it up for this evening. So hopefully you guys can join us again on Wednesday night. We're going to do another true crime show. Hopefully it won't be another hurricane that we'll have to live through. But yeah, we're going to do something that one of you guys recommended a while back, the disappearance of Patty Adkins. So we're going to be talking about that case on Wednesday. Then on Friday, we're going to do the sidetrack show, but I'm not sure yet if it might be a little bit later because we're actually going to go to Ocala to see my mom on Friday, and I'm not sure when we're going to be back. Like, we should be back, at a reasonable time, like at night, because I don't really like driving back from Ocala in the dark because there's nothing out there. But yeah, so if it's a little bit late, I'll just keep you guys apprised of like what time it's going to be and stuff like that because I'm not really sure yet how long we're going to be there. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us this evening, and we'll see you guys again on Wednesday night. Good night.